Okay, with here, Dr. Tim Maggs, owner of the Albany Patroons. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Good, good. All right, so just talked to head coach, and we're here live at the combine. What's an owner looking for when he comes to a combine like this?
Well, it's really to support the head coach, but there's also so much interaction with the other teams in the league, and I think that collectively, the more every team is interacting with each other, the better the final product will be. If we're all separate in our own little areas of the country, we never get that total mission feeling. But I think here it's very inspiring.
Almost a sense of camaraderie with the teams coming to
Yeah.
a thing like this.
Yeah, you forget that you're going to go to war against them very soon.
Do you think that sets the league a little bit differently than other leagues?
Well, I think so because I think that the more and the Maglies do a fantastic job of keeping everybody, the center core strong, keeping the mission strong. Because I think when you tap into what makes people take action, I think people want to be a part of a mission, especially a good mission. I think the Maglies do a great job of making us continually remember what the purpose of the league is.
So let's backpedal a little bit for people that aren't familiar. We did talk about Albany Patroons. So for now, people should be familiar that it's been there for a long time, unlike some of these teams that are fairly new. It's a basketball brand that's been around for a long time.
Correct.
How long have you been the owner of the Albany Patroons?
I've been the owner for probably 4 months.
Okay, new ownership. Okay, so how do you come into a brand like this, well-established, long-term, and look at a future with a brand team like that?
Well, I've been with the brand in the background supporting Derek and the Patroons. I was season ticket holders in mid-'80s.
Okay.
So I've seen the brand, and I say we've got a diamond in the rough that has just had a couple tough years. We bring that back to life, and we've got gold.
What are these tough years in between the CBA to now?
Yeah, in between CBA to now and maybe ownership that wasn't as committed as I am. So I know the potential. I've been a student of sports for the last 50 years. I know what ingredients it takes to create a successful organization, and we've got every ingredient needed. Now it's just a matter of time, continue the work.
Can you tell me what some of the wrong ingredients that you've seen in the past, maybe not specifically with whom, but
Right.
what are some of the ingredients that have messed things up in the past?
You have owners that come in and they're not team. They're me oriented. They come in with a different agenda. They come in maybe not with the resources that they claimed they had. So that you got the team out there going, and all of a sudden you turn around and nobody's there to support what your next step is. And so your marketing is down. Which ultimately means the gate is down, which ultimately means now the payroll is challenged, and it just creates a lot of stress. Versus coming in with a game plan, everybody doing their part, the coach doing their part, the GM doing their part, the media doing their part, the owner doing their part. So if everybody's strong in their part and everybody has the same mission, exponentialism can send you, to the mountaintop, and that's what our goal is.
Flashback a little bit. You said you season ticket holders when they were in the CBA. How do you see a difference between the CBA and the TBL now?
Well, technology probably is the biggest thing that what we are able to do now, having people globally watch the game live stream. And my mission is a little different too. I'm using it as a platform. I've reinvented sports medicine. I have created a sports biomechanics program, and simply the current traditional sports medicine at pro level all the way down is reactive, and it's without knowledge of what the injury is. Just inject it, or do a little this on it. And whereas with biomechanics, it's doing a full exam prior to the athlete ever taking the floor, finding out the biomechanical faults and fixing them to the highest level possible before, and then have a very aggressive proactive treatment and care program during the season. So this is a program, structural management, that I believe pro teams will be calling us saying, how do we get access to it? So I'm using it for that platform as well. The Patroons will be the only pro team 100% under structural management to start the season, but I have a belief that it will expand quickly.
So people listening may be familiar, at least when they think of maybe a league that struggles with medically taking care of their players. I might think of the NFL. Some of the old stories from the 90s where there's the bucket full of painkillers that you take after the long game, and exactly what you're saying is reactive. You said this is going to be the first team structurally under that mode. Is it at least something that's being heavily considered in some of these other leagues and teams, or do you really think it will be eventually, but it's still being glossed over?
No, the sports medicine team on any team, it's a very political group, and it's very governed by the medical community. The orthopedics really have the control. So it's hard if I'm a chiropractor going on to a team. I worked with the New York Giants for 4 years, and you go into that locker room, you have no say. You have no posture. You have no strength. So the opportunity to own a pro team and dictate what the sports medicine program is going to look like and not allow the orthopedist to be the guy in charge, that is what we're doing. And I think once the players hear about it, once owners hear about there's a better way to take care of your players, and I use Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson as 2 examples. They're both out for a year on injuries that probably could have been prevented.
So even at the top,
Especially
Yeah.
at the top. The wrong doctors are in charge. That's my message.
or even when the right ones, they don't have a say or not a strong enough say.
Well, yeah, to a degree. It's more detailed than that. You don't want
Sure.
me in here for 2 hours talking.
But I appreciate that. So, looking on here forward to the season, what is the draw that how does a team like a team in the TBL focus on getting people in the door or getting people to even sit down and watch the game now with their live streaming service and all things like that? How do you get that when you have competition in the NBA, college basketball, and all that stuff?
Well, the Patroons are in a little different situation because we have such a history there, and all we're doing is reviving that energy that everybody felt back in the 80s. And again, we have a forum, the Armory, that seats 2,700, so it's not as big as a lot of the NBA arenas. And I think people want to be there to feel it, to taste it again. They're dying to taste that. So all we have to do is we got to let them know we're alive. So we're out at public events. We're doing a lot of social media. We're doing a lot of advertising and marketing, doing everything to let them know we're not only alive, we're strong, and we're going to be there. We're putting on a entertainment in that 2.5, 3 hours that you will want to come back to. Not just the game, but additional fan experience opportunities that they'll have.
Finally, I want to end here. It's been, the more I've talked with people, the more it's clear that TBL is they want their players, obviously they want them to succeed, but they also want them to be able to move on. And we see that with some other leagues that'll lock them into long-term contracts. They got to be bought out, that kind of thing. It's not the case here. How can you speak to the fact that the TBL really is trying to get players the opportunities? You spoke about it with health. That's a big thing. I mean, if you're injured, you can't play. So how can you speak to the TBL really focusing on getting players opportunities?
Well, I only know from our team and Coach Rowland, and Coach Rowland is sincere, and I believe him and I like it, that his goal is to help players get to the next level. And it's always that next man up concept. And I think he has the ability to coach that next man up to keep the team level at a very high level. But I think if the players believe your mission is to help them get to the next level, they're going to give you everything they have.
And as an owner, you're not standing there greedy hanging on to those players. You want that. If they're ready to go and they have that opportunity getting called to move on, go do it.
I understand the laws of success, and the laws of success are help that guy get to where they want to be in life, and everybody will help you get to where you want to be in life. So that's our mission.
Well, I like that mission a lot. I do. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Maggs. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.